Hey folks, it's Nate, and today I've got kind of a surprise in the shop. It's got nothing to do with the Jeep necessarily, or even the bumper project, which is ongoing, but stay tuned and you'll get to see a cool upgrade that's come to my shop. So can you guess what it is? So like I mentioned in the beginning of the bumper build video, the part 1 video, Yeswelder and I have been talking a bit about, well, things and partnerships and whatever. As I mentioned, I now have an affiliate code that you can go to yeswelder.com and enter the code SWBFab. Get yourself a 10% discount on items sold there. That helps the channel out, so if you're interested in any Yeswelder stuff, like the thing I'm about to show you right now, head on over there and use the code. Helps me out, helps you out. All good. So through some discussions with Yeswelder, I've come into a TIG welder for the shop. Now, I don't know much about TIG welding, so I'm not set up to use it yet, but what I intend to do today is just at least get it out of the box, maybe plug it in and turn it on just to sort of show you guys what you can expect if you were to purchase this particular machine, what comes in the box, and what else you might need in order to get yourself up and running. So let's get started by digging into the box. As you may have seen, I've already opened it, so I've already been kind of through it, but I haven't even looked at the directions yet, so this is all going to be new. All right, so first of all, there's a bunch of cables and whatnot. I think that's all of them, and this super fancy wire brush and chipping hammer. It is what it is. They've provided something to get you started. I don't know, maybe they included one of those chintzy welding masks too that you hold up over your face. I haven't seen one in there, but maybe. So aside from that, now this welder, while primarily I'm interested in its TIG features, it's apparently also an arc welder, which I think is what this guy's for. Right? I could be wrong. I've never actually used an arc welder, you know, a stick welder. But I think that's what that is. All of these cables and attachments are removable from the machine, which is handy. My Clark machine, everything's attached. I can't take it off. So if I want to do something like replace the torch or something, I think it's quite the production. So that's nice. I like that they're removable. So that's that. I may never use that. I don't know. If having the MIG welder at my disposal, I don't see any reason to stick weld, but maybe there's a thing I don't know about. I don't know, but I've got it if I ever want it. We'll let the Jeep hold the stuff we've already looked at. Now this is, of course, the ground clamp. Let's have a look at it. The ground clamp on my Clark is sort of notorious for not clamping well on thinner material. That looks... ouch. That looks pretty positive. I like that. Nice thick cable. Again, detachable from the unit, obviously. Otherwise it couldn't be in this bag. So there's your ground clamp. Now this thing will run on 220 or 110. So here we've got, it looks like the hose for the gas bottle and an adapter to go from 220 to 110. I haven't looked to see if this is the same style 220 plug that my Clark uses. Looking at it across the shop, it might be. If it is, that's good. That means I can plug this machine directly into the outlet I've already got for my Clark and not have to worry about that. Also, if I were to build an extension cord or something, which is something I want to do for the welder, it'll be interchangeable. And this has got to be the TIG gun. Do they call it a gun? I don't know. I think it's a gun. Now, like I said, I don't know much about TIG. That looks like something broken. I don't know what that's from. We'll find out. There's the attachment for the gas, I suppose, and the attachment for the... Oh, that's what's broken. Ooh, that's the trigger, isn't it? Gonna have to contact, or maybe I can glue that. That's the trigger to make the gun work. Can't be without that, huh? Well, that's one downside. I'll have to see if I can fix that, or if Yeswelder would be kind enough to send me a replacement piece for this. They do sell a pedal, I think, for this machine. As I understand, a lot of TIG welders like to use the pedal instead of the hand trigger, because TIG welding appears to have a lot more moving parts and a lot more skill involved. Let's see how long this thing is. That's pretty long. Much longer than the cord on my Clark. Ooh, there's a spring here too. I think that was part of the trigger here maybe. Yep. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Won't be able to use this until I get that figured out. Let's coil this back up. Now, next thing in the box is the machine itself. Take off the packaging here. I haven't done any of this yet. I haven't even looked at this thing. Let's get this guy out of the way. That's a super useful thing. And there's your dial for setting the power to the gun. There's where all those various leads attached to. Not bad. It's not huge, which I didn't expect it to be. There's the model, the TIG-205DS, 110 or 220. Warning labels, 220 cable. Yeah, I don't think it's the same cable I have on my other one. That's unfortunate. Wonder if I can get an adapter or something. I'll figure that out at some point. But at the end of the day, here we go, TIG welder. There's one more thing in the box. Two more things. There's the accessories for the TIG torch. That's the word I'm looking for, torch. Now these all assemble into that torch. These are the various tips that they give you, I think, right? Those are tips? Yeah, those are tips. There's names for these, and like I said, I don't know enough about TIG yet, but there's a special name for this thing. This is like a little clamp that clamps around the tungsten. The tungsten goes in this thing. Here, let's see if I can open this easily. Already put the rest of the... that was smart, wasn't it? Where were these at? Like this, like that. So that torch I was showing you, this goes on the back of it. And then these are assembled in a way that I will have to look up because I don't remember off the top of my head. This is the nozzle. But anyway, these assemble in such a way that your tungsten rod is inside of here and it comes out the other side of that torch that I showed you. And then this nozzle, along with some combination of these, goes on the other side, right? So then you end up holding it kind of like a pencil. If you've ever seen somebody use a TIG welder, you'll see them sort of hold it, you know, in such a way where it's almost like a soldering iron, if you think about it. And then what you need, so there's no tungsten included in this box. Yeswelder sells tungsten, so maybe I'll buy it from them, but there is a welding supply store nearby. I'll probably get it there. And here's the instructions. So all about how to set up and use your TIG welder. So, as you might guess, I have this TIG welder now, and I don't know how to use it. I've been watching a ton of YouTube videos on how to TIG weld, but nothing really gets you experience like experience. So, my plan is that I'm going to get all the required consumables so that I can actually start trying to TIG weld. Now, the things that I mentioned already, the tungsten, I'm going to have to get tungsten. I'm going to have to learn how to sharpen tungsten, which is the thing that they don't come out of the box just sharpened and ready to go. You have to sharpen them on like a grinder or something. I'm going to need filler metal, which comes in sticks, which you feed in, which is why I say, from what I've looked at, what I've seen online, TIG welding looks very similar to either acetylene torch welding, which maybe you've seen done, or soldering, except soldering is a much smaller scale, much lower heat. Basically, the tungsten electrode causes an arc between that torch and the piece you're working on, and then you feed in your filler metal, right? And then you move along. It's very similar to what you might do soldering, right? You've seen me solder. I'm decent at that. I'm hoping that means that I have at least a little bit of the skill I'm going to need to learn how to TIG weld. The other thing I'm going to need is a bottle of gas. And gas is not cheap. I've looked into CO2 argon mix because my Clark supports both gasless and gas welding, so either flux core or solid core. And I backed off on that because it's just so expensive to get the bottle and get it filled with gas. And to be honest, flux core welding has served me fine. It doesn't make as pretty of a weld as you've seen in some of my videos. It makes a lot of spatter, makes a lot of mess. But to be honest, I don't think saving time on cleaning up is really worth it for me. Anyway, back to TIG welding. For TIG welding, you need gas. There's no question. You have to have a shielding gas. If you don't have a shielding gas, you end up with porous welds, and you don't want that. So I'm going to have to get a bottle of argon, which is what I'm told you need in order to TIG weld. So that'll be on my list. I don't know if I'm going to buy a bottle and have it filled or if I'm going to rent a bottle. If anybody knows where I can get a bottle cheap, please let me know. Things I've looked at for a new bottle, they're several $100s. And, well, to be honest, I have a lot of other places I could spend several $100s. If I could rent one for cheaper until I can afford a bottle, then that would be much better for me because, to be honest, I just don't have the funds right now. I'd rather be putting that money into improving the shop or many other things in life that would improve my situation and thus improve the channel because I'll have more available funds later. Well, folks, there you have it. I know there's not a lot of content to this particular video, but I got the thing. I wanted to give Yeswelder a shout out and say thank you for getting this TIG welder out to me. And I want to show you guys what was in the box, even though it may be a little while before I'm ready to actually use this thing. Like I said, there's a few things I got to purchase, and well, that might take me a little bit of time till I figure out where to get them, what to buy, and get them into the shop. One thing that having a welder that requires gas is going to sort of push for me is getting a welding cart put together. So maybe that'll be an upcoming project. Maybe I'll use my good old Clark over here, or maybe I'll learn how to TIG weld making a welding cart. I don't know. I'm going to need something. I have my Clark, which is on wheels that I can just wheel around the shop. It'd be a lot nicer if he was on a cart and this guy was on the same cart and I could just, you know, put a bottle of gas on the cart along with them and all my welding supplies in one space instead of in drawers in my toolbox over there. It'd be a lot nicer. So that'll be all upcoming stuff. Hopefully I will soon have the stuff that I need and I can start showing you guys my process learning how to TIG weld. You guys get to laugh at me while I learn the process. And, well, I guess all there's left to say is thanks for watching. And if you're interested in the Yeswelder TIG-205DS 110 220 volt MIG and stick welder, go check out Yeswelder.com. I'll put a link to the product in the description of the video. When you check out, make sure you use that code SWBFab for 10% off. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Hey you stuck around to the end of the video. You're awesome! You should probably hit the subscribe link up over here, and make sure you hit the notification bell. Otherwise, YouTube's not going to actually tell you when I produce something new. You can also support me via Patreon by clicking the link up over here. And if you like this video, you should probably check out the recommended content that's coming up down over here. If you want merch like I'm wearing right here, you should go to SWBCrawler.com and check out my shirts and hats and whatever else I've got for sale. Thanks for watching.